sweetie, listen, you got to feel it before you poke it. Raccoon Tears. 20 years from now, these are the bands you're going to be celebrating as the old school Austin.
I know. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Everybody Gets 15 Minutes here at Waterloo Records in Austin, Texas. A quick conversation with some of our favorite acts we have the privilege of hosting live in-store right here on our own stage. I'm Gus Ochoa, and this is Nakia Reynoso.
Hello.
Of Nakia and the Never Not Now.
That's right.
Yeah, welcome to Waterloo Records.
Thank you so much. Good to be back in here.
I should say welcome back. Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome to Waterloo Podcast.
There you go. Yeah. The whole Everybody Gets 15 Minutes thing is a dream come true for me in a lot of ways, but it's also really, I think it's great. I think it's great for local musicians, for musicians coming through, for people to get just a little bit of time to talk about their records and what they're doing.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think of the new shop? I always ask everybody.
Man.
I'm going to stop one day, I promise.
Yeah, I don't think you should. I mean, it's been through so many iterations. I moved here just as it moved to the previous location.
Right.
So I only really ever knew that location. And that one was cool.
Sure.
I saw some great in-stores there.
Yeah.
Had a lot of great fun there. Bought a lot of records there.
You played some in-stores there.
I did 2 there.
Yeah.
But this shop is so cool. I was just actually singing the praises of this place yesterday to someone who has still not been to the new shop, but has been a lifelong Austinite.
Oh, wow.
And so I think there are a lot of people, who are out there who haven't been here yet. Like they know where it is.
Yeah.
They know it's moved, but they still haven't checked it out yet. So if you're listening to this and you haven't been here yet, I mean, it is everything that the old shop was, and then like 10 times that, because you've got all of the records. I think you might have more space for actual records.
It feels like it.
It does feel like it. And then you've still got the film section as well. But you have these new additions, things that Waterloo did not have previously. Right. The cafe. Right. So cool. You can 100%. Come here during the day, sip on some tea or a THC seltzer water or something, and listen to whatever y'all are playing.
It's so great. That was a dream of John's, actually. It's
I had
Karen and Trev made that come
a
true.
meeting here the other day. I was like, hey, let's just take a meeting at Waterloo Records.
I love it.
And then you have the gold pressing in the back. So one of people might not know you can get gold records pressed here.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, Waterloo Podcast in this room.
Yeah.
And then there's Waterloo Sound, which really I think was the thing that blew me away the most, aside from the fact that you actually now have a real stage with state-of-the-art lights and sound equipment. You now have a state-of-the-art sound studio where people can come in and mix their albums in Dolby Atmos.
Absolutely.
Again, that is the future. The future is here. I started doing Dolby Atmos about 2 years ago after I had a chance to hear it demoed at a Grammys event.
Yeah, it's incredible. The difference between just stereo and Dolby Atmos is incredible.
It is, and people will say like, oh, I've heard, on the AirPods or on my AirPods Max or whatever that it just sounds okay. But until you hear it in a real setup where Dolby Atmos is really meant to be above you, around you, everywhere, it's life-changing. The first time I heard Thrill-O-Matic in Dolby Atmos, the Hammond organ is like spinning around the room the whole time.
As if you're inside the Hammond organ.
And my vocals are popping off and up and down the ceiling, and I was really blown away by it.
Yeah, it's incredible. I don't even need to do the end of my show now. You've done everything. You talked about everything wonderful we have going on here. There are things that John envisioned, and that Karen and Trey have made a reality. I feel like, and in that way, it's a very collaborative effort, and I hope it benefits the community in the best way possible. We want it to be a community space.
Yeah, I came to do one of the trivia nights.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
Patrick's very proud of those.
Patrick does such a good job on those.
He does, yeah.
Every week is like something different. And there were a ton of people here.
I know. Yeah.
People love trivia.
I know.
you know?
Yeah. Well, I love that you said you chose it as a meeting space. I think that's really awesome too.
I think more people should.
I love that. We're excited to have you play. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you get more elbow room on the bigger stage, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. There's not a wooden railing around us that makes it look like you're in like a circus sideshow or something. Yeah.
Or I've made the comment on here, like what is it, Superphonicos or Hard Proof for a band like that? It's like half the band would be on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. And y'all know I love to move around and, jump up and holler and hoot and have I'm basically an old Baptist preacher is what my role is. And so I am really looking forward to actually getting to use the stage. A few of the guys in the band have not been here yet.
Yeah.
And they were asking me at rehearsal on Sunday, they were like, so how much room do we have? And I was like, dude, it's like a 20 by 15 stage
it's like
or something.
Double pretty much.
Yeah. So it's going to be incredibly fun and we're really excited about it.
That's awesome. So a little bit about you. I mean, like at this point in time, I feel like everybody knows you.
You would be surprised, man.
I mean, you got The Voice. You got you're on Sun Radio. You're very active in our community, advocating for better pay for musicians. You're
always
a leading queer voice in our community.
Thank you.
The industry as a whole. You're the former founding president of Austin, Texas Musicians, an organization that helps musicians build sustainable careers. There's the Fastball Miles Zuniga connection,
which was my first time ever doing an in-store. I was here at the old location. I was in the Small Stars with Miles, and my character in that band was Vic Oden. He was the band manager.
That's
He
amazing.
was a very surly character.
Did you wear suits or?
Oh yeah, we all wore suits.
Amazing.
We all had backstories and alter egos, and it was so much fun. And that was the first time I ever did an event where people came and we got to sign autographs.
Yeah.
People were lined up to get our autograph.
What did that feel like for the first time doing that?
It was just,
Is it like a surreal feeling? I mean, like I play music. I put out an EP a couple of years ago. I'm putting out a record this year. I've had people ask me to sign things. And I think for me, it's like, what? Like, okay, that's cool.
I think for me at the time, especially because everybody in the Small Stars, they had already all been in fairly big bands. Miles was in, Fastball. John Bush was in the New Bohemians and et cetera, et cetera. And so it was kind of like my first rock star feeling where I'm like, I'm in sunglasses, I'm behind the table, people are lined up. And, this is before vinyl made a comeback. So we only had the CDs. It was just so fun. I was just really, really proud to be a part of it.
That's amazing. I mean, you and I talked about last time you were here, the Alejandro Escobedo connection, Tony Visconti, encouraged you to form Blues Grifters. I read up on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But how did you get started with the Not Never Now or the Never Not Now? I want to get that right. Never Not Now. How did you get started with this batch of tunes and like this iteration of Nakia?
Yeah. So in 2019, I had decided in 2018 I was going to stop doing the Blues Grifters for a while, put that on hiatus. And at the beginning of 2019, I did the inaugural 1159 Club that Dave Madden started, where it's a songwriting group and there are 4 prompts. It's at the beginning of every year and you write the songs based on the prompts, turn them in, and then of course now he's turned it into also a showcase, and hopefully he's going to turn into like a compilation album. But the 4 songs that I wrote for that, I really had the mindset, I'm going to write these for a Nakia solo album.
Okay.
And I want it to be heavily inspired by the music that I loved and listened to growing up on the radio, which was Duran Duran, Culture Club, Erasure, especially the New Romantic and the pop stuff that was happening, Eurythmics.
All very familiar to me.
Yeah. And so I really needed it to feel like that. And so I just went all out and I built it from the ground up myself. Whereas all of my other albums, I might have played the demos on piano, but then we took them into the room and created them with the band and or a producer who kind of took the lead and did everything. And I wanted this to be my thing, right? And so I did those demos at the same time that I was actually deciding that I'm also going to spend the entire year of 2019 trying out being a drag queen.
Okay.
And so I had just launched this residency at the Highball where it was called Hot Mess Express.
Oh man,
And
that sounds like
it was so much fun.
I was gonna say, so I mean, like
Yeah.
so one of the best shows I've ever been to is I lived in San Francisco for a couple of years at Marlena's, I think it was called.
cool.
Dude, amazing,
Yeah.
amazing time at the drag show.
And so I created this drag queen persona called Darla Dane, very southern and sweet and sassy and irreverent, but really into, crooning. Like I was able to also sing if I wanted to, but I enjoyed lip syncing. It was nice taking a break from singing. But all that year I was doing that, and I had a chance toward the end of the year to do a tour with my friend Tom Goss. Kind of toured East Coast. We went through the Midwest, and then we did the West Coast too. For that tour, I decided, I'm going to go out solo. I'm going to bring a MIDI controller and a laptop. I'm going to do all these songs and a few more because I was the opening act.
Okay.
So I only needed to do 25, 30 minutes of material. And so I took those songs. I took this John D. Graham, Rest in Peace, song
indeed.
that I had just done with Michael Ramos producing. It's a cover of his song, Unafraid. And I took a couple cover songs and I did those on the road. And the fans, I was like, really surprised. They were really happy to just hear these new songs. They weren't bummed. They weren't getting the old stuff or, they weren't missing out on the blues stuff I had been doing. And I was really, kind of turned on by it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this. So I started writing a couple more. And right at the end of 2019, I said in the Facebook group that I had started that had then become Austin, Texas Musicians, I posted a call for musicians who I had never played with, who also sang backing vocals. Those are the two requirements.
Okay.
I wanted everybody in the band to sing, and you could not have been in a band with me before. And I've started this band that, originally I was just going to call Nakia or something else. And it was everybody that's in the band now, except there was a different drummer and we had a different extra guitar player. I asked these guys to join the band and we played our very first show, my birthday show that year at Saxon Pub. My birthday's on February 20th. We played on February 22nd. And then I went off to New York City to take an acting class with Broadway legend Betty Buckley, because I was also going to spend most of 2020 in New York City trying to audition for Broadway shows.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was there in New York City taking a class with her when Mayor Adler canceled South by Southwest.
Right.
And so then immediately I had to put back on my ATX musician's hat and get into, crisis mode to help make sure musicians were getting some money during that time, to make sure that music venues, because they started closing really quick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And,
I remember,
we were down at City Hall, when we could be there, but most of the time we were doing it over Zoom, trying to get City Hall to allocate some of the COVID money that they were getting for these venues. So
these people whose jobs,
2020.
the people whose jobs just fell off the face of the earth.
It took up all of the 2020. And so we kind of put the band on the back burner. By the end of the year, I got surprised by Matthew McConaughey with a Zoom call.
I read about that.
Naming me a local legend for helping to get music venues money and musicians money.
That's incredible.
And then 2021 came and people started playing shows again. Yeah. The first show that I got asked to play was the Long Center's first ever The Drop-In. And they were doing them socially distanced with all the protocols in place. I brought the band in. We had lost one member, but everybody else was still in the band at this point. At that point, we still didn't have a band name, so we just called it Nakia. And then in 2022, we started getting serious about, okay, maybe we should start playing again. And that's when I asked the guys, I was like, okay, start thinking of band names. Yeah. I really feel like what I wanted to do was to just be a band name.
Right.
Because I've not been in a band that, it was my band that was just my name.
Something that's not your name.
Yeah, that's just not my name.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of a cool name though. So.
It is a cool name. I spent a lot of time, kind of building it up. That's why every time I try to do that, what ends up happening is the venues don't want to just put the band name because they want people to know that Nakia is playing.
Oh, I got you.
And so it happened again a couple times where we would give them some kind of band name, and then they would just put Nakia. So I said, okay, we're going to pick a band name. At that point, we were losing a drummer. So we got our new drummer, Danny, and we got our new guitar player, John Sanchez. And we have a collaborative Apple Note. And there are probably about 300 names in there. Let me just give you a few of my favorites from each person.
Please do.
So Andy Nolte, one of my favorites of his was Genuine Fakes.
Oh, okay.
Really liked that.
All right.
Benjamin Howard, who plays bass, by far my favorite band name we did not choose was Moody Sinner, Sinner.
Interesting.
Because everything is called Moody here.
Interesting. Sure. That's
Moody
funny.
Amphitheater.
A little play on the Moody Theater.
Moody Center, but also Moody Center.
Amazing. I love a good pun. Why not?
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one from John Sanchez, Raccoon Tears. I mean,
Cool.
Love it.
Cool.
Travis, the other guitar player, one of my favorites from him is Butter Baby. I don't know why, but it just rolls off the tongue, and it sounds like an old Austin punk name.
The alliteration is really great
Right.
too. Butter Baby.
I had probably a bunch, but my favorite that I picked was Gordon Tightfoot. But it sounded too much, like a drag king name or something.
Sure.
So we ended up with
Or a really good soccer player. Right?
Nakia and the Never Not Now.
Yeah.
And the meaning behind that really is, if you think about, because it's kind of like the double negative thing, obviously, but never not now. Like everything needs to be of this moment. Right now.
Right.
We're not trying to look back. We're not trying to think too far in the future. We just want to be here with the people who love us and want to enjoy the music now.
Absolutely. And you kept the alliteration.
The Never Not Now is
I really
Nakia
like that.
and the Never. So that's why we have the stickers with the 4 N's on them, and then of course our band slogan, which is "Quit fucking around, come find out." Because we were playing every week at Seaboys all last year. And, it's a slog to try to get people to come out anytime now, more than ever. But on a Wednesday night at 10 o'clock, and you still got to pay cover to get in. So, the whole idea was quit fucking around. The music's going to be good. Just come find out,
I love it.
And it seems to be working.
It's amazing. It's resulted in Signal, which is what we're here celebrating today. It's one year anniversary. I can't believe it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember in the old building, I would walk past the Kling on 6th and Lamar, and I'd see it in the window, and I'd see your face.
It's back up.
How does it feel? I mean, how's the year been to you?
It's interesting, Gus. As far as the validation that I guess as an artist that I would hope to get for the creation of it. And this is the first album I produced by myself with my friend Matt Parmenter, who helped co-produce
I love Matt.
Yeah.
Matt and I go way back.
Yeah.
He's done some stuff
so
for me.
I took all of the demos to Matt and
Yeah.
said, hey, can we run all of these sounds through your analog gear? Let's recut my vocals on real microphones, not the shitty USB mic that I did. And he was great. And he helped bring it all together. And then we took that and gave it to Matt Huber out in LA, who did the mix. Chris Bell did the Atmos mix. And then this was the first album that I had mastered at Abbey Road. And Ollie Morgan, who since left Abbey Road to start his own thing and is now mastering the actual Never Not Now debut album, was great. I got to go over there and
incredible
be there when they were mastering
incredible.
Some of it. But as far as that part goes, I feel really, really grateful for, the thing that really is the struggle, right? Is you wake up every day and you're being inundated with, oh, here's your latest, insights from Spotify or Apple Music, or here's the latest numbers of records you've sold at, here at Waterloo or whatever.
Yeah.
And as far as especially on the streaming side, just cannot get any kind of real traction. When it first came out, because Chris Bell was attached to the Atmos mix, it did end up on, one of the songs ended up on an Apple playlist for a minute for spatial audio, but it's just so hard to get, there are still people, the album has been out a year, and this is actually why I went to Cory here at
our marketing director,
your marketing director, who's also a kick-ass musician.
He is.
And said, hey, what else can we do to market this album? People don't know it came out.
Right.
And so let's celebrate the 1 year of it. And so that that's really where I am. I'm like, in the world that we live in, where I think the current statistic is it's something like 150,000 songs get released a day. And that doesn't count the songs that are getting released by AI artists, because that's even more so now. People are just, it's just too much.
Yeah.
You know, the hose is coming too fast, man. You got to figure it out. And so what I'm asking people to do with this is like, hey, let's actually take a minute, listen to the record, like give it a chance. I promise you there's some really good songs in here. Come see the band, celebrate with us, buy a few copies. We're going to be giving away some flexi discs with it. But that's where I'm at, man. I'm like trying my best to remind people that the reason that we do this is because we love to create, we love to perform. And, you know, it really only works for the artist if it's a reciprocal thing, right? If they're enjoying the music, if they're enjoying the performances. And so hopefully with this, it kind of re-ups everybody's attention, you know, and kind of zaps over.
Absolutely. I do intros for bands sometimes here as well.
Nice.
And what I've found, my happy place with the intro and the outro has been talking about that exact thing, about like, this is what these people do.
Yeah.
It's one of the ways that they make a living, but they do it because they love it. So if you've got something to give to it, if you've got something to contribute, buy the record, man. If like, listen to it and enjoy it and show them like love in that way. You know? I think it's great.
I mean, listen, folks, people aren't doing this for the money unless they are doing it with AI.
Correct.
Because that is just a money grab. There's no creativity involved in that. Maybe a little creativity in the prompting, but that's it. You can spit something out in seconds, sure. And you can upload it in minutes, sure. But it has no soul. Yeah. You know? And we really have soul, and we put that soul into the music, and especially when it comes to the recordings and the vinyl. Thrill-O-Matic is arguably the most popular song that I've released in a long time, but it's on that album, but it's on there as a hidden track.
Yeah.
And you have to actually even read the dead wax inscription to kind of know that it's there.
That's cool. I love those Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a cool thing.
I put the credits for it in the inside, but if you look at the back of it, it's not listed as a track.
That's awesome.
You know, I still love those kinds of things about physical media.
For sure.
You know, just the other day, I put on an album that was by Counting Crows, This Desert Life.
Okay.
And I forgot that there was a hidden track, and it was from a CD I ripped. It had that whole 3-minute thing, and I'd been working and silence had been there for 3 minutes. Yeah. And suddenly there's this whole other song and it's still all the way up, you know, the volume is, because I'm almost deaf. And so all of a sudden, you know, it's like, oh man, a hidden track.
I know. I love that.
I love that stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
I also want to do a little, just a little callback here to Matt Parmenter and Ice Cream Factory.
Yes.
And I love that journey from Ice Cream Factory studio in Austin to Abbey Road in London. That's amazing. But let's talk about some of these songs.
Okay, cool.
So like Signal, the title track, to me, totally screams 80s in the best way.
Yes.
I love it. I very much feel that NXS influence, maybe even a little bit of Mr. Mister even.
Oh yeah,
which I think is so cool. I was such a fan of both back in the day, so
too.
It definitely gives me a nostalgic vibe in that way. I know it's become a bit of, I don't know, a taboo in some circles with the 80s, whatever, but I mean, I think it's great. Yeah. I love it. I think it's fantastic. That's one of my favorite ones on the record.
Thank you.
I've got Mary Mary, which the Dallas Voice described as a hypnotic, sort of groove-driven track that blends rock and funk and synth pop with a bit of Memphis soul. This one really has that vibe again that would make Michael Hutchence and Gene Knight,
man,
from Mr. Big Stuff, like proud.
Man, thank you so much.
Both of them. Like seriously, it's like Devil Inside meets Mr. Big Stuff.
The guitars on the chorus of Mary Mary, you could call Matt Parmenter right now and say, what band and or album did Nakia tell you he was going for with the guitars when John Sanchez recorded them? And he's going to say Kick.
I'm going to call Matt now. I mean, no doubt he would say that.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
you know, that, dun, dun, you know, I mean, that was 100% right from Kick. And then the vocal line of that is my real kind of like homage to Andy Bell and Vince Clarke of Erasure.
Yeah.
And When in Rome, that same kind of like weird harmony vibes. on that track too. But in the Memphis Soul thing that the Dallas voice mentioned, I think that comes in because John does this really rad, like Cropper-esque vibe on the verses where it just kind of comes in with this, and it doesn't fit anywhere else on the record.
Steve the Colonel Cropper, for those of you listening out
That's
there.
That's right, yeah.
Go look it up.
More of a
guy's amazing.
Stax.
Sure. Definitely Stax, yeah. I also like Show It To Me.
Thanks.
That beat really takes me to like Prince or like Rick James even.
Yeah.
It's like, tell me about Big Daddy Karsten.
Yeah.
Like, how did you collaborate with a Swedish rapper? How does that happen?
Man, we've never met.
Okay.
We're just, because we're both in the gay bear musician vibe, the genre, if you will, we've always kind of had mutuals. And then as I was getting ready to release this Show It To Me was one of 2 songs that were not done at Ice Cream Factory.
Okay.
From the ground up. The other one was Say Goodbye One More Time. Show It To Me was done at 601 Studio with Eric Harrison of West Texas Exiles.
Yep.
And
great band.
And
they played
Mike, his last name's, sorry, Mike, I love you. But those guys were really on me. They were like, man, we really want to do something. And so I said, well, what about this one? And I had taken this song. The chorus comes from a trip that I had to the doctor to get some blood work done. And I always have trouble. The phlebotomist can never find my veins.
Oh, no.
And so this woman was, struggling, and she was new. And there was an older black woman there who had been there for a long time. And she said, oh, sweetie, listen, you got to feel it before you poke it. And a light bulb went off in my head. I have an actual voice note that you can hear of me running out of the doctor's office, getting into the elevator, going to my truck the whole time, singing the entire first verse first chorus of this song. It came to me that fast. But when I cut this with those guys, again, I said, look, here are the vibes that I want to bring to it. Prince, Depeche Mode. There's a big like Psycho Killer, Talking Heads vibe in there. Dirty Laundry from Don Henley, Eddie Grant, all of those. These are the vibes I want to bring. And we really did our best to like kind of find that groove. But when we were done, I was like, man, this is cool. But there's no other like moment on the album at all where I feel like we could do something really cool with a rap. And Eric was like, oh man, you're right. Let me think about it. And we thought about it for a bit. And he was like, man, have you thought anything else about that? And when he asked me the second time, another light bulb went off and I was like, oh, let me ask Big Daddy Karsten. And so I just sent him a DM and said, hey, if I send you this track, will you, rap over it? And he was like, of course. Work out, because they have different, like PROs, like we have BMI and ASCAP, but in Norway, I forgot what it's called, but it's something else. Aside from that, there is a version without that rap.
Interesting.
But we've never, obviously live, we don't do the rap.
Maybe a hidden track. Maybe a hidden track at some point.
We did have, during the Seaboard's residency, the Outlate residency last year, I had this incredible young artist named Evita, who's a rapper and singer. She came and rapped on it. And then that went so well when they asked me to perform at the Music Awards this year. Yeah. I invited her to come along too. So if you caught that, Evita, man, she's one of those great up and comers that are just like really on fire.
Maybe you could do like a Gorillaz thing in that way and just invite another rapper, like wherever you are, to come up and sort of do that.
That would be awesome.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
We Can Make Believe. That was another one that I enjoyed. That one feels like singularly like yours, but still maintaining like an 80s vibe. It's something about it feels like it's more you. Let our hearts lead the battle, heed the call.
Yeah.
Like, what is this about? What is the make believe in this?
The whole idea behind We Can Make Believe is really this this thought of like, listen, everything else in the world can be completely fucked up, but if we close our eyes and we imagine what it is that we really want, we can bring that to life. But in the moment, especially, one-on-one, we can be together regardless of any of that. And I think that's really kind of an ongoing thing. There's some of that in Signal. There's probably some of that in Show It To Me. But this idea that like, the world is on fire, but we still have our creativity. We still have our kindness. We still have our love. And in this case on We Can Make Believe, we still have our lust. All of those qualities about us are still available and they don't cost any money.
Right.
So close your eyes and see, because when we close our eyes, we can make believe whatever we want, and as a kid, that's what I did. I would be in the garage, rolling around on the roller skates with my sister Kelly, listening to the radio and imagining that I was, in a Duran Duran music video or something, with my cousin Gina, working on the farm, coming up with dance routines for songs and stuff, because we're making believe.
Yeah, that's such a great tool that you have as a child. I feel like just at your disposal. I think sometimes we lose that.
Yeah.
It's good to get back in touch with it.
Yeah.
So as far as songwriting goes, I'm going to ask you about your process. It's one of my favorite things to talk about because it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
I read, for instance, in American Songwriter that your tune from 2021, It's Never Too Late, right? It originated from like a late night scroll situation.
Yeah.
Some folks travel with a pen and a journal to kind of, you're talking about the phlebotomist and what she said. It's like, you hear that and you're like, oh, the notes app on the phone. We've touched on that, but other people have also said that. I use it like crazy, sort of always listening to the world, around you kind of thing. How does it work for you? Like what is your sort of approach to it?
I have the idea and I either sing the idea into my phone or now I can sing it into my watch.
There you go. Technology is pretty great in that way.
Yeah. And I try to capture it. Most of the time, it's either some kind of lyrical hook that comes to me first or a musical idea that I just need to get out, And so I have so many voice notes that I've started that have ended up as songs. In this case, for this album, though, We Can Make Believe, Running with Scissors, Mary Mary. There's like 6 songs on this album that were the product of prompts that came from the 1159 songwriting group. Oh, No More Rides was one of them. I wrote No More Rides the day after our dog Tyson died. Tyson is on this shoulder.
R.I.P. Tyson.
And he died just after midnight on my birthday. So we took him in on February 19th. He died February 20th. The same day, our current dog's mother conceived our current dog, and then our current dog Baker, she's on this shoulder, her litter was born the day before Tyson's birthday, April 22nd, but she didn't come out until after midnight on April 23rd. So it was pretty crazy. But the day after my birthday, after Tyson died, it was time for another 1159 prompt to be turned in. I was just so consumed with that grief that I sat down and I wrote that song for Tyson. And in the demo and the final version, Matt and I actually left it in. You can hear Tyson singing. He used to love to sing with me.
Oh, amazing.
So you can hear him singing as the song fades out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Again, I love those little sort of personal things that are kind of left in.
Yeah.
To a recording like that.
That's what makes it real. It's what makes it human.
It does.
We're recording right now, this debut album for The Never Not Now. The other day we were mixing and somebody's like, oh yeah, we should just go ahead and pull that out. And I was like, fuck no. It's like that little tiny thing right there. That little mistake, even though we're probably the only ones that'll hear it, it helps keep it human.
It does.
That's what people love about real rock and roll is that it's not perfect.
I know I say it a lot, but yeah, that kind of thing is sort of like a part of the fingerprint. Mm-hmm. So lastly, I like to ask folks as you make your way around supporting Signal.
Yeah.
Like what are a few things that you've been listening to lately? Just anything that's sort of like, you're excited about, you want to share.
I'm super stoked about this artist, EddieAngel.
Okay.
He was somebody that was brought to my attention when I put out the call for other queer artists to perform at our Outlate residency at Seaboys, and he came and did a guest spot. Was completely blown away by him. One of the first people I called to do the Prince tribute that we just did at Antone's with Group of Phantasma. He absolutely killed both songs that he did. He did When Doves Cry and Musicology.
Amazing.
He's got new music out, and I think he's working on a full length. Really, really good. I mean, just so captivating and so natural. Like, it's so nice when you see an artist on stage, especially in that part of their career where you can tell like they really are enjoying coming into their own. It's a really beautiful moment for them right now. Also, I was not a big fan of Noah Kahan. I mean, we play him on Sun Radio.
Sure.
But when this new album came out, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it into my library and give it a listen. And I've listened to it so many times now. It's so real and raw. His songwriting is so authentic. I can't make up my mind. Like some days I think Haircut is my favorite song. Some days I think it's Dan. Today I think it's Doors. Tonight on my show, I think I've got The Great Divide on my Sun Radio show tonight. That's definitely been there. And some SG Goodman, who just taped her first Austin City Limits
Very
episode. Cool. And then the new stuff from Fancy Hagood. Fancy's going to be making his ACL Fest debut. They just announced him for one of the artists. I think he's weekend 1, maybe weekend 2. But he's actually coming to Austin to play his first Austin show with a show that I'm producing through my Stay Out ATX org, where we focus on queer art and queer musicians. We did an all queer music showcase at Continental Club of all places during South by, and it was a huge success. They've been doing these South Austin song circles at the 04 Center. So for Pride Month, I said, hey, let's do the Pride edition of that. So it'll be me, Fancy Hagood, and another artist I'm obsessed with, Judy Blank, who recently moved here from Denmark. Fancy's got this killer cover of the Spice Girls out right now that is just so good. It's like this bluegrass Spice Girls. So you got to go check out Fancy Hagood. Check out Judy Blank, EddieAngel. I think I mentioned Evita earlier. She's great. So many great bands.
That's awesome.
I say this all the time on the radio and when I'm, hosting stuff. We do have like an embarrassment of riches of not only great concerts that come through Austin, big bands, national bands, international bands, but we just have so many great new bands, not counting the old school Austin folks, but I'm talking about new, younger bands that are coming up that really, and this is like, for a whole different podcast, but like really what I tell people is like, you need to be paying attention to the bands that are making music now, because 20 years from now, these are the bands you're going to be celebrating as the old school Austin.
100%.
And, we need that.
Yeah.
In order to stay the live music capital of the world. You mentioned earlier, like when you were talking about introducing bands, many of the musicians that are being introduced make some of their money from playing music. And it's, when we say some, it's almost either negative money or just barely enough, because almost everybody that I know who's a musician has at least one other day job, plus Ham and Sims.
Definitely.
So, and God bless John Kuntz for all the work he's done for both of those organizations. 100%. So important and vital to what we do. But man, I cannot stress enough, listen to new music. I always tell people, go see the new bands, bring a friend, pay the cover, buy the merch, tip the band. You're helping to keep the scene alive. Yeah. Tell your friends about this cool new band that you saw at Hole in the Wall or Continental Club or wherever.
Yeah, absolutely.
The word of mouth goes way farther than social does, especially these days. The algorithm is solely slanted to help people who are paying for it.
Definitely.
And if you're not paying for it, you're probably not getting seen. All the more reason why I'm trying to promote this album a year later. Most people do an album and then they're like, oh, it's another year. I'm ready for another album. Yeah. I'm like, no, we're still promoting this one.
I am totally in that boat, man. Absolutely. Yeah. And you mentioned something that I was thinking this entire interview was just talking to you about how lucky I am to be from a city that has so many wonderful musicians in it, and we are very lucky. So lucky. And Signal is part of that. You are part of that. We're so happy that you were here today to talk about this. Thank you so much for having me. Absolutely. Of Signal, Do 512 said this marks the culmination of over 6 years of dedication, creativity, and raw emotion poured into every track. Again, y'all, the album is called Signal. We're celebrating the 1 year anniversary. It's out everywhere you stream your music, and will be out on vinyl and CD here at Waterloo. You can definitely come and pick it up. Come and see the 3x3 we were talking about earlier as well.
Or I'm back on the windows too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Back on the cling is back on the windows. Like, give us a honk when you come by the shop.
Exactly.
You can follow him on Instagram at Nakia or at the Never Not Now. I'm going to get that right at some point. The Never Not Now. It's so many ends. Ask Big Bill. I've had a problem with alliteration.
Man. There's the band that I love. I actually managed them for a short minute.
I love Big Bill. Oh my gosh.
They have a big part of my heart.
Dang, they're amazing. For all things Nakia, visit nakia.net.
Yes.
Nakia Reynoso of Nakia and the Never Not Now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it.
And thank you all out there for listening. You can follow us on Instagram at Waterloo Records, at Waterloo.sound for our Dolby Atmos studio, at Waterloo_wheels to follow the ongoing adventures of the Waterloo van. I know. It's
Which
like
we
the
still
Scooby-Doo
haven't
van
named.
going down the street.
Still needs a name.
I know, Trey. Anyway, yeah, we need to get on that, Trey. At Unofficial Dogs of Waterloo to see all of our canine pals who come in and shop with us.
Aww.
I know. You got to go check it out.
Oh, we got to bring Baker down here.
You got to do it.
She'll love it.
Absolutely. And as always, at EG15M to keep up with our interviews. To subscribe to Everybody Gets 15 Minutes, you can find us on YouTube and on the Waterloo Records channel, wherever you get your podcasts. I'd like to thank Cory Reinisch, our marketing director, Allie Lingren, our in-house engineer, Mads Lupold for putting these together, Audio-Technica for the headphones and the mics, and of course to the fine folks on staff here at the shop, without which none of this is possible. I'm Gus Ochoa. I'll see y'all next time. And until then, support the artists you love, support your local record store, and if you're in Austin, stop in and say hey. We'd love to see you. Adios, y'all.